So you guys are all welcome to our class of today. And today we're going to talk about this essay that we have been, kind of talking about or even, mentioning lately, which is the effects of a positive outlook on our lives. So basically, this goes like this. If you are a person who has a positive outlook on life, this is what it means, really. So if you are a positive person, if you are a person who has a positive outlook, like opinion, that's what it means, on things that are in your life, okay? Um, Basically, the writer is saying you will benefit your life in different ways, okay? Like in life, we have so many things, all right? But the writer decided to focus on three things, which is your relationships will be great. We have lots of relationships. We have the husband and wife relationship, okay? um, um, we have the friend relationship, right? And even, your colleagues at work, that's another relationship, where you consider people to be your colleagues, but not more than that, right? Yeah. So those relationships, they'll be really great. All kinds of relationships will be great. And I gave you examples on what we mean by relationships. In addition to that, if you're positive, if you're a positive person in every, way in life, it will also, this, will improve your health, because we say that, you are healthy because of your psychology, right? The way you think about things. We say that, most of health conditions, most of your health conditions are improved if you are a positive person, we say. See, guys? And this is what we mean. Let's see how the writer decides to organize his information. So enrich your relationships, different kinds of relationships, okay? And so there's a lot to say in this paragraph. And then, your health will be improved and guide you through some of life's greatest challenges. What are, this is kind of general and also specific. Like if you go through challenges in life, difficulties in life, you will be able to, get through them. What kinds of difficulties do we go through anyway? Financial problems, what, right? Sometimes financial issues, um, you lose a loved one, maybe that's something also difficult and challenging, to be able to, let me say, um, get back on your feet after losing somebody who is really important in your life also. So this could be one of life's greatest challenges. What could be, greater than that? Okay. Or worse than losing somebody who you love so much, or who you consider like a rock in your life, right? That would be something, that I would want to think about over here. Okay, but let's see what the writer says. He's also, see, guys, he's kind of specific but also general, which is good. That gives you the floor to talk about anything that you consider to be challenging, right? Yeah. So let's see what he says. Who can, read the first paragraph? Did we discuss the first paragraph, guys? The first body, I mean paragraph. Because we did
No,
read and discuss the introductory section, didn't we, last time?
no, no.
But did we go through the first body paragraph?
No.
So now you know what the first paragraph is going to be about. The first body, when I say the first paragraph, it means body paragraph. It's going to be about this. That is, if you are positive, it's like this. If you're positive, you'll enrich your relationships. And I talked about what kinds of relationships you may have, right? Or you might have. Or you can say, look, guys, as a result. So remember, I told you guys before that when you talk about the cause and the effect, okay, it's like you have to think about things like this way, in this way. That is, like, the cause is like the if clause. The effect is like the main clause, something like that. You don't have to write it in that way, but this is how I want you to imagine it. If you want to write it in that way, you can. You don't want to, it's fine. You can use the, the method of as a result. Like if you do, when one does this, when one does this, or when this happens, you don't have to really use the if clause. As a result, your professional life, social life, personal relationships will be improved and great, and so on. See, you can say as a result. This person decides not even to use as a result. Look what he says. You find, he says. See, but it does also mean this is the main clause or the result. It's up to you how you want to deal with this. Guys, do you want to read the first body paragraph for us, please?
Yes, doctor, of course.
Go ahead.
A positive outlook helps you find happiness in professional, social, and personal relationships.
Exactly. See how this topic sentence is formed? It's really great. So if you guys, a positive outlook, without saying if you have a positive outlook. And it means if you have one, or
Yes.
when you have that kind of outlook on life. All right. Yeah. What happens, guys? You find, instead of saying as a result, all right. So this is the outcome or the effect. Let's say there will be, happiness where, guys, or even positivity. You can say happiness because they're kind of synonymous. When you're, positivity and happiness, they go together. Enjoyment. These are words that we feel they're kind of synonymous. Okay. You will have this or success, in your professional life, that is at work, social life, those who you deal with in terms of relationships, and and personal relationships, which is even part of social, but it's even deeper. Personal has to do with like husband and wife, fiancés with each other, children, and their fathers and mothers and so on. But I guess here it means more like the intimate relationship that everybody might want to have, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Having a positive attitude will help you find a good job and keep it.
So see the discussion here now, supporting sentences. It's about the first, part of this topic sentence. So having a positive
Colleague,
attitude
yes,
will what provide you with what, you'll find a good
good
job
job.
and keep it. What does that mean? Now look, guys, explain. So you explained this with this line. Now explain this even deeper. Okay? That's what you're going to be having now. Go ahead, read more, guys.
Colleagues enjoy working with someone who always looks at the bright side and avoids conflict.
Good. Somebody who does not want to have, arguments that lead to arguments, and then they take you to even more arguments. Okay. Some people are like that. Yes, life is hard. Life has its issues. We're going to always face problems, in the workplace. It's true. And we're going to be in a place where we have to, let me say, decide on, to take a side, let me say. But some people, I don't know, they side with, let me say, with things that lead to more problems and issues and so on. So what you got to do is to be a person who is a problem solver, and when you do it in a way where you can avoid conflict as much as possible. All right. If you're like
Yes.
that, people will be you'll be like a bee that is attached to pollen and so on, something like that. Yes, go ahead.
Friends will appreciate your energy and want to spend more time with you.
See, guys, people who are positive, this is what people would want from them. They would want to be around that energy. That energy is, what, guys, is attracting, where people are positive all the time. Yeah, go ahead.
A happy person makes everybody else happy.
Good.
It is
It, it's contagious. Good job, guys.
contagious.
What does contagious mean?
I don't know actually.
Contagious, we use this word when we talk about diseases, by the way. Do you know that?
Marty. Marty.
Exactly. So that's why I said that this is a word that is used with diseases. But here we did not use it with a disease. We
Hmm?
used it with something good, right? Which is, happiness.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
everybody around you is happy, you are infected by that, but in a good way, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Happiness and positive outlook on life can also have a beneficial effect on personal relationships. As a consequence,
Yeah, consequence means like a result. See how there
yes,
are, let me say, words that show effect. This is a word or a phrase that leads to that shows the effect, or that is, let me say, in between the, let me say, the cause and the effect. This is a phrase that is used between the cause and the effect. Yes, go ahead.
as a consequence, any partnership will be a solid, strong, and happy relationship.
Good. So any partnership, when you're that kind of person who's looks at the bright side of things, when you're positive, what, guys, the end of the relationship will be solid, it will be strong, and
Solid and
the
strong.
relationship will be a happy one
Ah,
in general. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So you got the idea, guys.
well,
So it seems I noticed that the person here focused more on, your let me say, the professional, part, let me say, which is normal, guys, because whenever you talk about something, there will always be something that you focus more on than the rest of the things that you mention. You might discuss one issue more because it's your favorite, or you have been through this issue and you know more about it. You got more to say about it, all right? Like if it was me, I would like focus on this personal relationships, honestly speaking. This is just me being myself. All right, so it depends on you. So when you talk about something, there will be an issue where you give more focus on, or you give more focus to, and then you will explain it more than the others, and that's fine, as long as you clarify what you mean in one big let me say, in some supporting sentences, okay? And the others you do have to give attention to, but you don't have to, let me say, go into the details of the details and so on. Got the idea? Yeah. Thank you, Qais. Let's have somebody read about this. Let me say, read the second body paragraph, which is about what? Let's see, Razan.
Yes. Having a positive outlook also makes a person healthy. In fact, medical science has proven that stress, which causes many of today's common illnesses, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and cancer, can be avoided when people feel good about themselves. If you have a good sense of humor and laugh a lot, a substance
Yeah, a
called
chemical substance called.
serotonin will
Yeah.
be released into your bloodstream,
Hmm.
giving you an
A
immediate
chemical
look.
substance is like a hormone, guys. It's a hormone in your body that will be
Yeah,
released. The body is full of hormones. You know that, guys, right? Yeah. And this hormone is only released, when you are, when you feel good about yourself. So when
yeah,
you're always negative, imagine you cannot have this, substance released in your body, and then your body gets sick because your body needs this hormone. This is only released when you smile, when you feel good about yourself, when you have that positivity, that positive energy, flowing around you. So this chemical is released. Guess what, guys? They say that this chemical could fight diseases and infections and even cancer. Can you imagine if it's released? But how can it be released if you're always grumpy, if you're always unhappy, if you're always sad, if you're always negative? You see? And that's why, guys, lots of negative people, or who have this negative, let me say, atmosphere in them and around them, they, get sick early on, and they have diseases and they die. Of course, guys, there's nothing that is, let me say, 100% about people, I mean. But in general, it has been proved that, if you're negative, if you are stressful, you're always stressed, I mean, um, this could infect or affect even your health. All right? Yeah.
yeah, giving you an immediate feeling of well-being and tranquility. It
Yeah,
has also
tranquility is like calm, being calm, this calm feeling about you, the stability of, calmness about you, tranquil. Yeah.
yeah, it has also been found that the elderly recover faster from illnesses when they are cheerful. Being
Exactly.
positive and happy is synonyms with health and longevity.
Yes. So being positive, look, and happy, because being positive they consider now means also being happy. So if you're happy, you're a positive person. Otherwise, vice versa would happen. It is synonymous, imagine. So positive people are like almost like as if you're saying they're healthy. Positive and happy people are people who are probably going to live, longer than others who are not as positive. Of course, guys, you understand that, nothing is, perfect, but I mean, like, if we are involved and if we can, in general, let's play a good role in our own lives, right? Yeah. Thank you. So you got the idea about the second part, which has to do with, the influence of positivity on the body. So this person decided to talk about, like, what if you're not positive? What would happen? You would, be stressed, and you would catch diseases, and you would have, let me say, high blood pressure. And that, what does that do? It creates diseases in the heart, and, you might suffer from cancer, etc. And then goes back to shuffle with the idea that has to do with you being, let me say, cheerful and enjoying, having a sense of humor, and not making things worse than they are in life, right? Yeah. So it's good to do that. Yeah. Let's take these are like the supporting sentences. They're really good ones over here. Melek, do you want to read the last body paragraph for us? And it's about what? Dealing with life's difficulties. Remember? That's what we said. Let's see what
Finally,
the person has to say
people
about
with
that.
positive outlook are stronger and capable of converting difficult situations.
So this
They
is
develop
the
clear
topic
minds,
Mhm.
which help them which help them cope with life's challenges better than those individuals who are not at peace with themselves.
Good.
Happy people optimism create the strength need to find rational solutions to the many unexpected problems that life presents.
Mhm.
This optimism also promotes self-esteem. For example, happier students are more likely to approach professors for help when they are having some trouble in their coursework. In contrast,
So just a minute,
unhappy
Melek.
or
Just a minute, Melek. So this person decided to deal with this situation by giving examples on situations which could be difficult for people. You know, it's really hard to deal with your professors sometimes. Sometimes some professors are hard to deal with, and sometimes it's not that, guys. You as a student, you feel this barrier just because this is a professor and you're the student, you know. And if you are a positive person, you would find ways to, you know, let me say, move forward and speak to your professor, deal with him, and you know, not be like too shy and too embarrassed, or let me say, you would think about your professor as a monster, right? Some people just imagine their professors as monsters, and so they would have issues and questions and so on. They would not move forward and ask those questions. Yeah, I know it's sometimes it's really hard for us professors, honestly speaking, guys, to, you know, deal with hundreds of students. Also, that's a difficulty, but we still have to be open a bit and listen to students. All right. And even though you feel that your professor is going to give you a hard time, go ahead and go ask your question if you feel that it's a question that probably, you know, deserves being asked. You know, go ahead. Go ahead.
contrast, unhappy or less happy student may internalize their frustration and be less likely to seek out help.
Exactly. See, you may internalize, you know, your questions, keep them in, and you know what, this would lead to what? At the end of the day, it would lead to frustrations. You feel frustrated, like, you know, there's no way out. You have problems that are inside and you feel that you're going to explode or something of that kind. So this is not something healthy to do. You know, when you leave that question pending and you never have a solution to it, and it's something you feel that it's serious and worth, you know, asking. Okay. You know, when you're frustrated like this, you know, that could probably lead to health issues and so on, right? Even not only do you, let me say, you don't feel successful in your, let me say, education and so on, but you know, you could also move on to returning to the issue that we talked about early, which has to do with, you know, infecting your health even again. So it's like a cycle. Yes, thank you so much, Melek. Let's have somebody read the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Remember, we've talked about conclusions before. You repeat your thesis statement, right? And then what do? You kind of give either advice or some kind of a warning, some kind of a feedback, right, Bushra?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Please read the conclusion for us.
In conclusion, it is a good idea to have a positive outlook and recognize what makes us happy, since it will bring us more harmony.
Good. So this is a
Happiness.
repetition of the what thesis statement, okay? But it's a more general way of repeating it, not being, you know, 100%, you know, the same. Just like, you know, you can really understand it. So look, guys, in conclusion, it is a good idea to have a positive outlook. Why? And recognize what makes us happy. Why? Since it will bring us more harmony. So more harmony in what? So it is like, you know what? It is contained more harmony in our health, more harmony in, because this is very general, but it means all three things that were mentioned and more. Can you imagine? So this is like very clever to be used. Harmony in what? In our relationships. Harmony where? At our workplace. Harmony where? And even, you know, let me say when we have, because harmony means like that things, you know, are resolved and, you know, there is no problem going up and down, you know, there's some kind of, you know, stability in everything it means, okay? Because the word harmony is used with music, okay? And that is, and in Arabic, the word is what? What is the word for harmony? Who knows?
انسجام أو تناغم.
Tanagum, yes, exactly. And the word insijam is fine, but the musical word is really tanagum, all right? That is, where things are not up and down, they are, just right. That's what it means, and you feel that you are pleased by this kind of, combination, okay, of sounds and music together. All right? Yeah, go ahead, read, continue, Bushra.
Happiness will bring us strong relationships, good health, and the ability to face any obstacle. If we
And
promise
again,
ourselves,
here they are. Look, guys. And the writer decided to also not just say harmony and then to rewrite them again here. As you can see, happiness will bring us. And here by happiness, because remember we said that the word having a great positive outlook means happiness. Okay. So this person made that synonymous with the word happiness. Will bring us, I'm sorry, strong relationships. We talked about which relationships at home, the workplace, your partner, that relationship with your intimate other, good health. We talked about this, and the ability to face any obstacle. And their focus was on, you as a student, what could be an obstacle? It's the one that has to do with dealing with your professors at school. All right. Now let's see what is here now. This is now the new thing. Let's see what this is. Yes, go ahead, Bushra.
if we promise ourselves to laugh more and think positively, we will change our lives for the better.
So what is this? If we promise ourselves to laugh more and think positively,
Inside.
we will change our lives for the better. What?
Inside.
This is an insight. Good job. An insight, by the way, is like an indirect method of advice. Do you know that? It's advice, but in an indirect way. Okay? Got it? Because this is something that this writer experienced and noticed that it worked for him or her. Okay? And so it's an indirect way of telling people to, do as is said, in this essay. Okay? Any questions, guys? So the way that you can have, a longer conclusion is by explaining or rephrasing even the sentence that you have. General, less general, more specific. And then you can give a warning or some kind of, insight or advice even. Yes, guys, you have your hand up.
Doctora, do we have a background information here?
What?
Do we have a background information on the introduction in this
I didn't really like it. You have
essay?
to remember, Qais, that this is a student who has written this essay. But I mentioned last time that the background information here is something like very small. Here it is. Here it is. A positive outlook can help you be happy and change the outcome of your life. So it's a general kind of information where, you know, about happiness and having a positive outlook, let me say. Okay, it can change the outcome of your life and does not tell you what the outcome is, because this should be used, let me say, if you want to go deeper, you're going to be using these examples, which are really in the thesis statement. Okay, so it's not
It's
really a
like a hook,
strong
like
one.
a hook.
The idea here is just to put you into context. I don't really like the introduction that much because it's too short, I would say. I would have
Yes.
preferred it to be longer. And from the very beginning, I'm telling you that, some of these essays are model essays, are really great to, make use of, and some of them are lacking. Now, this essay over here, I would say in the introduction is kind of lacking, okay? But it's good. It's good. It's really fine because the body paragraphs are really great, and so is the conclusion, okay? Now, the introduction is like, I would say too short, like, as you just said, if there was some kind of information related to background, it would have been better. Because what is background information? We have mentioned this before. Either historical information, that is, you can talk about people in the past and how they dealt with this issue. This would be a good a good few sentences about the past and how people dealt with this issue. Okay, or you can talk about any kind of information that you're not going to discuss about having a positive outlook. It could be, by the way, one of the the things that another person might want to deal with as its
Examples.
body paragraph, but not you. So if you
Yes.
mention it, don't discuss it in the body let me say paragraph. Okay, you can mention another point that is you feel that it's general though. Okay, because you don't want to be too specific even in the background. Like I said, it's supposed to be context information, like information that has to do with the topic itself, but you're not going to discuss it in the body paragraphs. Okay, just understand it that way.
Thank you.
Anything related to your topic, but and more, keep it more related to history, like things that something that people used or made use of in the past about this topic. That's just how you can get away with writing background information.
Thank
I
you
think
so
I
much.
gave you an example last time, Ice, and it was a really good example. Do you remember it as background information? You
Yes,
start
about Socrates.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember.
And you know what? I want to tell you something. Do you know that
Mm.
Aristotle himself wrote a big collection of essays called Eudaimonia? Do you know what eudaimonia
What
means?
are you doing?
Eudaimonia,
No.
eudaimonia means happiness. How can a person be happy in life? And imagine Aristotle, lived before Christ.
Yes.
So this has been an issue that that was discussed in everybody's life. If you feel you want to be happy, all right, in life, and you're doing things in order to achieve that, okay, um this is something that every human being goes through, and some people feel that it is unachievable, and that's why so many people live difficult lives, and many people commit suicide because of that. Okay, because they
Yes.
think that it's impossible. Okay, and those who say it's impossible is because they have their own way of understanding life, and those who say it's possible, they have a different way of perceiving life.
Thinking.
That's why. Yeah, the
Yeah.
way they look, their outlook on life is different. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
let's move on to analyzing the student essay. Now your essay, when you write it, just make sure that you have the following things, guys. That you have a label, all right? And let me say, I'm sorry, a label, which is here the hook, all right? Circle the label and label the hook. They want you here to label the hook though, okay? What are you going to consider a hook here? And what are you going to consider as the background information? There's nothing but, two sentences anyway to deal with, all right? And think about. Yes, Melek.
Yes, the hook is happiness is a state of being that everyone wants to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hook, and the background information is a positive outlook can help you be happy and change the outlook of your and change the outcome of your life.
True. Okay. Let's move on to
Yes.
3. Who would like to do 3 for us? Circle the thesis statement. That's clear. And rewrite it in your own words. How about that? Let's circle it first or mention it first. Here you go. So it can enrich your relationships or have, what do we mean by it? The whole phrase, having a positive outlook on your life can enrich your relationships, improve your health, and guide you through some of life's greatest challenges. Okay, so in order to, let me say, rephrase it, okay, that is, you can just say being positive in life, okay, because you just want to change, guys, some of the words. You can, let me say, have better relationships, let's say enrich, be healthy, and you know what, let me say, work on your, let me say, on the challenges in your life or the difficulties that you face in life. So the idea, guys, is to rewrite what is there, but you to use other words and even other, let me say, um, grammatical, let me say, forms. Okay, that's what it means, but they should be, English. They should be accepted, that, guys. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you write them my way or your way. It doesn't, as long as they are correct. Okay? Yes, Surah.
Yes, circle the thesis statement, rewrite it in your own words. The thesis statement is it can enrich your relationships, improve your health, and guide you through some of life's greatest challenges.
Okay, good. Did you rewrite it in your own words? I did. You heard me. You heard what I said a while ago. You want to say anything about it in your own words?
No,
Why, Surah? It's easier to say no, Surah. Come
I
on.
didn't think actually of another sentence.
Okay, it's the same, guys. Just sit down and rewrite it. By let me say, using a different form of structure. Let me say, and like I said, guys, it's always good to know synonyms of words because that's how you let me say rewrite anything that is written. Because guys, if you copy things as they are, the people think that they're borrowing them. That's not called borrowing. That's called stealing. And in English, that is called plagiarism. When you take words as they are and you consider them to be yours and you get grades because you use those sentences as they are, that's called plagiarism. Okay, and when you write something so serious, okay, like a report or a research paper, some professors they do a plagiarism test, and they tell you in advance, listen, you're not supposed to do that. I'm going to check them for plagiarism, and if you decide to still go along and write sentences as, or let me say copy them as they are, you will get a 0. And you know what? In some in America, you know what? Not only do you get a 0, you go to jail. Can you imagine because of that? So in our country, honestly speaking, if you are a student, let me say, your professor can, let me say, exclude you from the course or give you a 0. And this is possible. It's okay, by the way. At this university, it's okay. On the contrary, we encourage it, okay? Mostly when we have told the student that not to do that, by the way. And if you are a master's student or a PhD student or even a BA student working on a project, let me say, which is, let me say, a course that, let me say, that you cannot finish without this project, let me say, your professor will do a plagiarism test. And if he or she finds out that you have copied something that is not yours in the way it is, then, let me say, you might even be expelled from your program, all right, or from the whole, let me say, imagine you won't even get the degree. Can you imagine? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Who can do that one? This is easy. It should be easy, right? So, Surah?
Underline the topic sentence in each body paragraph. In the first body paragraph, the topic sentence is a positive outlook helps you find happiness in professional, social, and personal relationships. And in the second body paragraph, having a positive outlook also makes a person healthy. And in the final body paragraph, finally, people with positive outlooks are stronger and capable of confronting difficult situations.
Thank you, Surah, so much. Good job. Now we want to move on to 5. About 5. Yes, Malak?
Yes, write 2 details from body paragraph 3 that illustrate the effect of happiness. Laughter releases a chemical substance called serotonin into your blood stream, and stress causes high blood pressure, heart disease, and cancer.
Well, that's true, but that's body paragraph number 2, not 3. It's body paragraph 3. Be careful, Malak.
Sorry.
Okay, not paragraph number 3. So you paid attention to paragraph number 3. So be careful. But it's correct what you said. Now, body paragraph number 3 is different. Can
Happy
you
people
look at that and tell me the
Yes.
answer?
Can we say that happy people's optimism creates the strength needed to find rational solution to the many unexpected problems that your that life presents?
Yeah.
And this لا بلا.
All of
This
them,
up to
any sentence. Listen, Malak,
yes.
any sentence that is mentioned here is considered a sentence that is fine to be, put. Like when you say this, optimism promotes self-esteem, this is fine. For
Yes.
example, happier students are more likely to approach professors for help when they are having some trouble in their coursework. It's fine. These are supporting sentences. It's fine. Any sentence, okay, is, a sentence that is accepted. Okay, because it supports that topic sentence that we mentioned a while ago, that is, that when you're positive you can overcome a difficult situation. Okay, now number 6, Qais or Wujdan, I'm sorry, I'm going to skip you, Qais. Wujdan, because I didn't hear her voice today. How are the
Yes, no problem.
introduction and conclusion similar?
The conclusion restates or paraphrase the introduction in different
Yeah.
words.
And you notice that it's paraphrased it twice, once in general, and in the other time, it went deeper. All right, and paraphrased it in, in a clearer, even manner, right? So really, if you think about it, both the introduction and the conclusion have the thesis statement in them. All right, yes, but where in the introduction it's the last sentence, and in the conclusion it's the first sentence, right? So again, you see, guys, there's a lot of repetition. So Ilyas is telling you guys what you guys should do now, okay? So in the introduction, you have the hook, you have background information, you have the thesis statement, which shows the relationship between the cause and the effect. Then you have body paragraph number 1, where you have the topic sentence, then the supporting details. As you can see, again, body paragraph 2, you have the topic sentence with supporting details. Body 3, the same. The third topic sentence with supporting details. And then you have the conclusion, which is a restatement of the thesis statement. And then you have either your evaluation, which is like insight, your reflection, also could be something that you experienced and you want to also reflect on, which is another way of insight. But evaluation is like, you evaluate also and you give your opinion about all this. And you could give advice if you want. You can have, listen, you can have both, 2 or 1. It's fine. But this is what you have in the conclusion, either or all. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so for today, I would say we are done. There's another example here that has to do with factors that lead to success in college. So here, guys, we have causes, not one cause, okay, causes that lead to this effect, which is success, this outcome. So notice, guys, in these essays, either we have, causes and one effect, or an effect and causes. It depends on what we're talking about, guys, really, okay? Because sometimes we feel that there's this thing that leads to effects, and we feel that no, sometimes, there are certain factors or causes, more than one, that lead to a certain result or effect. So remember, guys, in the previous paragraph, we talked about having a positive outlook, being a happy person. It's in yourself, could lead to certain things. Now here, no. Here we're saying that there are certain factors or features, as if, that we should do or practice or have in order to be successful. Okay, sometimes we can start by saying, if you are successful in the way, if you are a successful person, you will do 1, 2, 3. See, so it depends. But the thing that you start with is going to be considered the cause, and the outcome or the results are the effects. You have to think in that way. Okay, so be careful when I tell you to write about something. The first thing that is the cause, is going to be the thing that you start with, that you should have as a person in order to lead to something else. Okay, anyway, let's have let me see why you guys are your hands are raised, because we want to stop here anyway. Surah, you have your hand up. What do you want to say?
Yes, I have a question. Doctor, just to avoid the confusion in the final exam, when you ask us whether this sentence is a hook or background information, can you put it in a paragraph just to avoid confusion?
What is it?
Like the question that you gave us in the mid exam.
Listen to me. Yeah. As long as the information is before the thesis statement, it's going to be background information unless it's not the hook.
Yes, I know, and that's what I talk about. Please put the sentence in the introductory paragraph, just to know.
Okay, don't worry, Surah. I'll deal with that, inshallah. Don't worry. Okay,
Okay.
Razan?
Yes, doctor. Actually, are you going to give us an lecture on Tuesday or not?
Is there really a day? Is it a day off or is it not?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
yes.
It's
Event day.
If it's a day off, don't worry, we won't take a
Yes.
class. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, if it's a day off, we won't take a class. Okay, for everybody. I'm not gonna give you a class, you know, if it's a day off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The same thing will happen
For all the other
to
classes.
the American literature.